Hey guys, Lord here, back in with another action figure review. Today I'll be taking a look at the DC Multiverse Night Terror's Batman, brought to us by the fine folks over at McFarlane Toys, as well as the local buddy who shall not be named for privacy reasons, who is nice enough to pick me this figure up, as well as the Supergirl movie Lobo Space Hog, question mark. I think it's called the Space Hog. It's got wheels on it, so I don't know how that works. But he got me the Space Hog on clearance for about half price. This guy was full price, but I mean, he just came out. But then again, that Space Hog ain't very old either. Either way, we'll be taking a look at that with Lobo at a later date. I don't need to double dip with that. So, with that being said, why don't we cut right to the chase and get into the meat and taters of this review and take a look-see at all Night Terror's Batman has to offer in terms of accessories. We got the collectible trading card with the bio on the back. Those of you not in the know, in case you couldn't tell by the giant D on his chest, it does not stand for Daredevil or D's nuts. It stands for Dead Man. And this is... I'm uncertain if this is Dead Man cosplaying as Batman or Batman brought back as Dead Man, because in the animated movie Injustice, Nightwing was brought back as Dead Man, although they called him Dead Wing. And I was kind of hoping we get a figure of that before the lights go out on the McFarlane Toys DC Multiverse line. That way we could have a Dead Man Batman and a Dead Man Nightwing. We could like team up and go on adventures and crap, but I don't know if we'll ever get that. We have the parts, but I don't know if we'll ever get that. But either way, as far as accessories this figure can actually use, he's got a couple of batarangs, same as the Batman Hush that we looked at the other day, and then we have the same grip hands as the Batman Hush. One of them has a bit of a trigger finger, so there you go. These are very odd looking hands too, very bubbly. They look they look infected, they look swollen. But that is it as far as accessories go. Going forward here, we got the hockey puck display stand using all McFarlane Toys releases. And here is the figure. Very nice cape, despite the fact that it is that crinkle sack material. It's not too bad, and the collar does stay out of the way, so that's cool. It's got the bendy wire, so you can pose it around, so that's cool. Other than that, it's just the crinkle sack cape that we're used to seeing with all these figures. Now, I literally just looked at this body the other day, so I don't know how far into articulation I'm going to go. But one thing I will mention is that he does have like the stump neck articulation, which it doesn't make sense that they went out of their way to make a new torso for this mold with the double ball peg in the base of the skull as opposed to the single ball in the base of the neck. And then they've used it maybe twice. So what is it? Batman 1,000,000 and the Cowardly Lot, as far as I know, are the only Batmans that utilize the actual, double ball peg head, and that's just kind of odd. But that's neither here nor there, I guess. This guy, he might be using the Hush head. It might be a new head. I can't tell. But as far as the rest of his articulation goes, his shoulders will go out. They got those beautiful butterfly rotator cap things so they can move all around. That's fine. Can rotate 360. He's got a bicep swivel. He's got double jointed elbow. Top one's pretty stiff on mine. I will say I had to straighten out the little glove spikes there. They were a little warped out of package. So there's that. He does have ball hinge wrists that will hinge, rotate, and swivel. He's got a decent amount of play in the torso, I guess. I don't know. Can lean back. Can barely lean forward. And he can rotate and tilt a little bit, but not a lot. It's kind of loose, but not as bad as that Lich King, that's for sure. Like, this is actually, like, clicking into place. So I think it's only when I move it that it gets a little loose. That said, his waist can do the same thing. And yeah, you can see it's already starting to stiffen up a bit. It'll probably stiffen up a little more. Worst case scenario, I heat it up and go in there and take a look-see and see what I can do about that. Hips will kick out, back down, they'll kick forward and back. He does have a little thigh cut. I feel like Hush 2 had more of a thigh cut. Double jointed knee. Crunches up all the way. There's that. You know, you gotta bend this 3 times to actually get him to stand, or else he's just gonna fall on his butt. And he does have ball hinge ankles that will rotate, hinge and pivot with toe joint. And of course the peg holes at the bottom of the feet. So you can put him on that stand that he kind of needs, but kind of doesn't need. He can stand, it's just kind of a chore because of those McFarlane ankles. But that is Night Terror's Batman in a nutshell. Kind of low-key reminds me of, you know, when Batman and Deadman teamed up in Brave and the Bold. That was a good episode. Because we don't get a lot with Deadman, like, period. Even in Justice League Unlimited, he wasn't in a lot of episodes. I think he was in, like, 1. Which sucks. He wasn't even in, like, Batman Animated or anything like that. Like, Etrigan was. So that's kind of screwed up. But at any rate, if I can get him standing up here. Because now, it's time that we move on and take a look at some size comparisons. First up, here's our Night Terror's Batman alongside the Target exclusive gold label, I want to say DC Rebirth version of Deadman from a few years ago. In case, you know, you forgot that McFarlane Toys actually made a Deadman. It's just ancient history at this point. And this is why I believe that this is Batman turned into Deadman, because he's not the same body as Deadman. I would think if this was Deadman cosplaying as Batman, it'd be the same body. It'd be this body. This is the Booster Gold Blue Beetle body. But I digress. That said, we also have Batman Hush, because it's a Batman that uses the same body as this Night Terror's Batman. And not for nothing, the heads seem awful similar. Maybe they are. I'm not too sure about that. But at any rate, there you go. So getting these two out of the way. Maybe the heads are different. The ears feel a little shorter on Batman Hush, but maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm wrong. Bringing in our 2 regulars, we got the Mythic Legion's Brother Mandibilith, as well as the infamous Kurt 11 Spawn, who is probably about, yeah, I'd say neck and neck with good old Night Terror's Batman here. Not for nothing, I think the collar on this Batman is a little bit better than the collar on the Elite Spawn, just because it's not as in his face. I don't know, mine's not bad, but I know a lot of people were saying that Spawn, the collar was kind of in his face, and I feel like this one here, the way they have it attached to the torso, is a little bit, it leaves a little bit more room for his head to breathe. So with that being said, it's time now that we wrap things up with some final thoughts. Overall, and unless you're on the seemingly never-ending quest to collect all the Batmans from the McFarlane Toys DC Multiverse line, this is an absolute pass. I got it because I like Deadman, I like Batman, they put them in a blender, this popped out, cool, I'll pick that up. Not to mention it kind of reminds me of when Deadman and Batman teamed up in Brave and the Bold, but that's besides the point. Either way, it's a fusion of 2 of my favorite characters. That's my justification for buying it, and that's my story, and I'm sticking to it. So, with that being said, Hope you guys enjoyed this review. Until next time, catch you guys later.